One thing is for certain, the Republican Party won't be the same. The Democrat Party is not going to change, even though they inspired and fomented the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're not going to change. They're done. Some Democrats are moving over to the Republican Party or to MAGA, and people are leaving the party that are human beings and have a conscience. But overall, the Democrat Party itself is not going to change. They're doubling down on the lies they've told, on illegal warfare against Trump. They're complete throwing out of the Constitution. They despise families. They love planting children from other countries in illegal families, if you know what I mean, for trafficking purposes. Jim Jordan's going to call them out. You know who's the biggest person who exposed Russia, and began the breaking of the back of the Democrats? It's Kash Patel, which is why they're after him right now in this hearing. Here's Jim Jordan on Kash Patel.
With opening statements, 5 weeks ago, because of the work of Director Patel, we learned that the former chair of the House Intelligence Committee and current United States Senator leaked classified information. We learned this because a whistleblower came forward. Whistleblower with 23 years experience in the intelligence community, a Democrat staffer on the committee, said this: they were pressured to leak classified information, which sort of raises the obvious question. Why would the head of the Intelligence Committee, the chair of that committee, who's supposed to be guarding our secrets, why would he be encouraging the leaking of classified information? Whistleblower told us that answer as well. The leaked information was supposed to be used. The leaked information, false information, was going to be used to indict President Trump.
Oh, that's why. That's why FBI agents are stabbing America in the back and going against their own vow because they're Democrats. And a Democrat is a cult-like religion where they have a higher adherence to that than showing normal manners, than being kind. And we're just calling that out. Jim Jordan's just calling it out. But it's because of Kash Patel. You got to remember, Kash Patel was working under Barack Obama even. He was in hostile territory, one of the few guys that put his job on the line and took a stand. And now the Democrats are after Kash Patel. And by the way, some of you guys on the right are watching channels that are lying to you and telling you, we have to get Kash Patel fired because he's behind some kind of an Epstein cover-up. Also a lie.
Now, the former chairman wasn't the only person leaking information. Jim Comey was also sharing things he wasn't supposed to share. Again, don't take my word for it. The Inspector General told us this. In his report, he said, quote, James Comey violated FBI policy by disclosing classified information. And what was Comey's motive? Same as the senator from California: to sabotage and undermine President Trump's first term.
And in Trump's second term, Comey found the shells on the beach. 86, 47, 86, kill, 47. These people are beyond, I'm through even fighting them. They're dismissed. You're dismissed, Democrats. You're all done. You're all done. Now, if a Democrat ever wins another election after 2026, if they get the House or the Senate back, America will deserve what it's going to get. They're going to impeach Trump, and America, we will lose the republic. And I'm just saying, you know what I'm going to do? I don't act in violence. Okay, violence is not in my language. I'm going to watch the Democrats. They're going to dismantle every institution in this country. It will harm the poor. It will harm the Democrats more than the Republicans. The patriots will be fine. We're going to be in log cabins in our bunkers or whatever. But America will be over if a Democrat Party ever wins, because Democrats are the greatest enemy, trying to dismantle what the founders did, trying to dismantle what Christianity did, trying to dismantle what the family does. Manners, respect, there will be no more of it. People like me, I'll be thrown in jail, but I'm kind of torn because all have been proven right about Democrats, and I really like being right. I'll be sitting in a prison somewhere for speaking, of course, and I'll go, hey, I told you guys this had happened.
And we know that Mr. Comey's not been shy about what his objective was. In fact, 4 months ago, he told us. Remember this?
Oh, there it is.
86-47. Jim Comey told us just 4 months ago.
I didn't see that clip when I told you guys about it, but Jim Jordan, you're welcome to make my point, even though you recorded yours before mine.
Now, how'd they do it? How did the former chair of the Intel community, the former FBI director, and others in our government attempt to undermine President Trump's
Yeah, they want him
term?
86th.
7 weeks ago, because of the good work of the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, we learned from another whistleblower, a second whistleblower, that in the closing days of the Obama administration, the intelligence community assessment was changed. On December 5th, 2016, they had one assessment. That assessment said Russia did not impact the election vote count. There was a meeting at the White House on December 9th, 2016, where it was decided, no, we're not going to have that. We're going to come up with a new one. And the new one said Russia was trying to influence election and did influence election, which just wasn't accurate. And that new one is published on January 6, 2017. Let's just show you a few things that took place. I want to show you first this email from Admiral Rogers, the head of the NSA. You can see it was December 22nd, says to Jim, John, and Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Jim Comey. And he says, I asked my team if they've had sufficient access to the underlying intelligence, sufficient time to review that intelligence. On both points, my team raised concern.
This is someone inside intelligence that told Clapper, Brennan, and Comey, what you guys are doing with this the Steele dossier and the Russia collusion stuff, our team is raising concerns that this is not mainstream investigation stuff. This looks like you're creating a case, giving credibility to a lie that breaks our protocol, our normal FBI, CIA, our normal intelligence protocol. It looks like you're constructing something. On both points, my team raised concerns.
Further states, my folks aren't fully comfortable. A few hours later, there's an email back to Admiral Rogers. This one is from Jim Clapper, and it says this: it is essential that we be on the same page and all of us are supportive of the report in the highest tradition of, that's our story, and we're sticking to it.
So look, Clappers, these people are guilty. This is a conspiracy. It's a formal conspiracy to undermine Trump, to get Trump. He went back to the people that said, we're not comfortable signing this. We're not comfortable with this. This breaks all of our protocols. And he goes, that this is our story and we're sticking to it. That's Clapper. This project is a team sport. We can't be divided. You will change your opinion to mine.
We may have to compromise on our normal modalities. This is one project that has to be a team sport.
This one's special.
That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Compromise on normal modalities, that's a fancy way of saying, that's the government speak for we're going to have to change the rules.
It's a government speak for two systems of justice, two-tiered justice system. One standard to be applied to Obama and Biden, and a completely different unfair standard on Trump.
In fact, we're not going to follow our own rules.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did to get the objective they wanted, to undermine President Trump. Now, how did it specifically take place? The whistleblower said that the government officials ignored concerns about discredited information. And what was that discredited information?
Steele dossier.
What was the discredited information that they didn't ignore the concerns about? What did they use, that discredited information? Of course, it was the dossier.
Funded by Hillary Clinton.
The now famous Steele dossier that was paid for by the Clinton campaign when they hired the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired Fusion GPS, who hired the foreigner Christopher Steele, who wrote all this garbage and lies down. That is what was used to change the intelligence community report. And what happens next? What do Jim, John, and Jim do next? They go to Trump Tower on January 6, 2017, to brief then President-elect Trump about the dossier. Again, the Clinton-financed, foreign-authored dossier that the whistleblower knows is garbage and that they know is garbage.
You're probably going, why is Jim Comer just repeating this again? Many of you are going to say, go ahead and say it, put it in the comments below. No one will get arrested. No one will get arrested because you have to keep doing this. You have to keep building and underlying the case. Because you see, this room is not a room full of MAGA Republicans. There's half Republicans and half Democrats. And half the Republicans are, intertwined with rhinos, okay? You have to keep making the case. And what Jim Jordan wants is for you and I to get on board in agreement and continually say, yes, keep prosecuting this thing, keep pushing, keep underlying it until something is done. It's been 10 years, guys. You got to keep doing it. Arrests won't come unless you do this every day, all the time, which is why I cover it with my channel. I'm doing my part. You are doing your part in watching this. Thank you.
And then there's one final step. Jim Comey leaves that meeting with the president and immediately leaks to the press that they briefed the president on the discredited information. They briefed the president on the dossier and thereby given it some credibility and creating the basis and the predicate for all they did to the president. They leaked false information. They leaked classified information. They used and leaked discredited information, and they didn't follow their own rules, all to sabotage President Trump's first term. And but for this guy, Kash Patel, but for this guy, we would never have known this information.
But for Kash Patel, none of this would have gotten out. Once again, I'm seeing conspiracies get rid of Kash Patel. Wrong. But for Kash Patel, you wouldn't know anything about the Russia hoax and the FBI working against the Trump administration. That just came out within about 2 months ago, purely because Kash Patel is in that office. If it was anyone else, they might not have found it. Certainly if Kamala Harris won the election, you would not have heard about it. It would have been scrubbed gone forever, guys.
The good people of this great country would not have known what took place 8 years ago when they were trying to undermine
the president of the United States. It is Kash Patel. I wanted to give him some credit here. You're going to find allies in strange places. I find one strange place being John Fetterman.
Don't compare him to anyone. And if you do, then you will incite somebody to say, well, now I feel like I have to stop that and to
Don't compare Trump to Hitler.
Take them out. People have seemed to have forgotten that the president took a shot to the head. And can you imagine if that shot would have gone the way Charlie Kirk's one?
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys what would have happened if that shot succeeded and Trump on national TV was gone. You wouldn't have had an election, I don't think. I think it would have been the end of the country. The Democrat that shot him that time, they're anarchists, guys. The Democrat Party is taken over by anarchists who they want the whole thing to burn down. We have to keep our heads about this stuff. And thank God, remember, someone behind Trump got shot and killed. He gave his life as a hero for our country, too. An innocent bystander. But we dodged a very serious bullet.
And what kind of condition our nation would be in. This is such a dangerous time right now. And now why? You don't need this an opportunity to share your opinions on it. Just, again, it's appalling, and allow folks enough space to grieve. The man hasn't even been buried yet. And it's like, that's why we wanted to have a conversation, that we have to find a way to work together.
I'm not going to work with murderers. I am not going to work with Democrats. I'm not going to work with the party that dances on Charlie Kirk's grave. And my message to John Fetterman is, you're in the wrong party. Come work with us. I will work with John Fetterman. Will you also support John Fetterman if he comes over to MAGA? Will you not welcome him? Let me know in the chat below. I'll take John Fetterman over Thomas Massey any day. But you have to turn away from that party. I am not going to embrace the Democrat Party. We're through working with the Democrat Party, especially how they respond. Remember, this John Fetterman saying, quit calling them Nazis. He's not talking to the Republican Party. He's talking to his own party. John Fetterman, you're in the wrong party. Come over to MAGA. I know there's a patriot in you. That's the party of death. And we want to come over to this side. This is where the party is. This is where the happy patriots are. Come be with us. We want you to love the country with us. I'm Doug in Exile. Shout out to the Quad Club.